She replaced you exactly like that one time when you were everything to her, the person she called when things got tough, the person who texted first thing in the morning, the person who knew her better than anyone else in the world, and now it seems like you never existed. She moved on and hardly looked back, leaving you feeling like an inconspicuous piece in a puzzle that no longer matters. The pain is sharp, isn't it? It lingers and wraps itself around your thoughts, clouding your judgment and making you doubt everything about yourself. It's like someone reached into your chest and pulled your heart out, leaving you gasping for air and asking yourself the same questions over and over again. Why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong? Could I have stopped this? This story doesn't end with her. It doesn't end with you feeling small, broken, or defeated. No, this is where your story truly begins, because right now, while you're at your lowest, you have a choice. You can stay down replaying the same scenarios, hoping for her to come back, or you can make a decision to rise up, to rebuild yourself into someone she can't ignore, someone she will regret losing for the rest of her life. And here's the secret. This isn't about her, it's about you. It's about realizing your own worth and stepping into a version of yourself that's stronger, smarter, and more unshakable than ever before. You're not going to beg, you're not going to lash out, and you're certainly not going to chase her. That's not how this works. No, what you're about to do is so much more powerful than anything she could ever expect. You're going to show her without uttering a single word exactly what she gave up. How? By mastering yourself, by reclaiming control over your emotions, your actions and your life. This isn't just a rebound or a temporary fix. The greatest minds in history have practiced the art of emotional mastery, or Stoicism, which is based on timeless, unbreakable principles. When you combine this with the shrewd, calculated edge of dark psychology, you become something far more powerful than she could ever understand. You become untouchable. Now let me be very clear. You are about to become the kind of person who doesn't need validation at all, who exudes confidence, power, and presence, who walks into a room and commands respect without saying a word. Trust me, when she sees it and realizes what she lost, the regret will hit her like a freight train. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This isn't about petty revenge, proving her wrong, or seeking validation from someone who didn't see your value. This journey demands strength, focus, and the capacity to relinquish control over circumstances beyond your control. It will also require learning how to turn your suffering into fuel. How can you quiet the clamor of sorrow and rage and transform into a person who not only survives, but flourishes? Unimaginable. You'll have the precise resources you need to regain your power by the end of this video. Rebuild your life and make her doubt every decision she made. But before we begin these powerful steps, I need you to do two things right now. First, hit the like button. It may seem insignificant, but it sends a strong message to the world that you're prepared to take back control. Secondly, scroll down and type these words in the comments section. I regain my power. Don't just think it, write it down and declare it. When you do so, you're committing to yourself to overcome the hurt, rejection, and self-doubt. This is your moment, and the first step is to understand why she replaced you. Let's get brutal. Knowing why she replaced. The brutal truth is that she replaced you because, on some level, she thought she could replace only what people think is replaceable. This is the reason she replaced you. While it's easy to blame her, label her as shallow, or claim she never really cared, there's a deeper truth here that you need to face. Understanding why she replaced you isn't about her, it's about you, and understanding the dynamics that led to this moment so you can break free from them forever. You may have given her the impression that you would always be there, regardless of her behavior. You might have become too dependable, too available, or too eager to please. You might have stopped challenging her, or perhaps you simply forgot to put your own needs first. Please don't misunderstand me. The good news is that you can completely change this script, and you're going to start the process right now. This doesn't mean you weren't strong or deserving. It doesn't mean you didn't love her enough, or that you didn't try hard enough, but it does mean that somewhere along the line, the balance changed, and she stopped viewing you as a challenge, a mystery, or someone who unquestionably added value to her life. Stoics had a proverb: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the foundation of everything we're talking about today. You can't control her choices. You can't change the fact that she replaced you, but you can control how you respond. You can decide right here and now that you will no longer allow anyone, not her, not anyone else, to dictate your value. Because here's the truth: she doesn't want you to realize your worth was never tied to her. It was always within you. And the moment you embrace that, everything begins to change. But this isn't just about philosophy, it's about strategy. Because while Stoicism gives you the emotional clarity to move forward, Dark Psychology arms you with the tools to make her regret underestimating you. And the first step in this process is understanding that being replaced doesn't define you. What defines you is how you rise after being replaced. Will you crumble under the weight of rejection, or will you use it as fuel to become someone even better than she ever imagined, someone she'll never be able to replace again? Before we move on to the next step, I want you to declare your power once more. If you haven't already, hit the like button and leave a comment below saying, "I reclaim my power." Why? Because every time you write those words, you're reaffirming your commitment to yourself. This is about creating a community of individuals, just like you, who are determined to rise above their circumstances. Let's persevere, as the second step marks the beginning of the true transformation. Take a moment and really let that sink in. It's not just about her regret, it's about your evolution. It's about proving to yourself, not her, that you are unbreakable. Withdraw entirely. Withdraw. Now that you know the truth about why she left you, it's time to take action. And the first step is something most people find difficult to do. It's instinctive. It feels strange, but it's one of the most effective things you can do. Cut all connections, step back, and stop being involved with her. No calls, texts, or likes on social media. Nothing. Just silence. Your silence will be more impactful than any argument or emotional plea, leaving her with questions, doubts, and most importantly, a stoic sense of regret. This is why it works right now. She expects you to pursue her, try to win her back, prove your worth, and beg for another chance. Every time you reach out and show her that you're still thinking about her, you confirm one thing in her mind: she has power over you. However, when you withdraw and pull your energy away completely, you create a void. According to Marcus Aurelius, you are in control of your thoughts, not external circumstances. Recognize this, and you will find strength in withdrawing. You are no longer responding to her behavior. You are no longer allowing her to control your emotions or decisions, and you are demonstrating to her and to yourself that you are not dependent on her approval. However, this move carries a psychological edge that is rooted in dark psychology. When you leave someone's life, it causes a cognitive bias known as the Zonic effect, in which the brain becomes fixated on unfinished tasks. In other words, when you pull away and leave no explanation, she is left with unanswered questions, and she begins to wonder why you are not reaching out. Did you find someone else? Was she wrong to abandon you? These questions will linger, creating a subtle but powerful sense of regret. Now, this isn't easy. The urge to text someone you care about can be overwhelming, but let me tell you something. Each time you reach out, you reset the clock and give her back control, which isn't what we're doing here. We're playing the long game. You may also convince yourself that by explaining your situation, she might be more understanding. The truth is, your energy is valuable, and even if she didn't realize it before, she will soon realize its value in your absence. Before we proceed to the next step, let me remind you of your power, provided you are still with me. Silence is your greatest weapon, and most people are too afraid to use it. Think of it like this. Withdrawing isn't about running away. It's about pulling back to regain your strength. It's about creating the space you need to focus on yourself and start the transformation process. If you're prepared to take back your life and make her regret her decisions, click the like button right now. Don't forget to post a remark that reads, "I reclaim my power," as each time you do so, you're committing to yourself that you won't be defined by her decisions. Since this is when things truly begin to change, let's continue. The glow-up is number 3. The glow-up occurs when you've fully distanced yourself and made that space. It's time to concentrate on the most crucial step in this process, which I refer to as the glow-up effect. This is where the real transformation starts. You see, while she's sitting there wondering why you've stopped talking, you're going to use that time to improve yourself in every way you can. You're going to rebuild yourself not only to make her regret her decisions, but also to remind yourself of what an amazing person you are. In all honesty, when you transform, you become unquestionable, and nothing haunts someone more than realizing they lost someone who became everything they could have ever wanted. What does a glow-up actually entail? It entails working on all facets of your life, your body, mind, and social circle. Your objectives. Let's start by dissecting your physical attributes. This is about confidence, not vanity. Attend the gym, purchase new clothing, and prioritize your appearance, as it is a proven fact that one's self-esteem is significantly enhanced by their physical appearance. She will notice that you are different when she sees pictures or hears from friends. You should focus on improving yourself going forward by reading books, taking classes, and learning new talents. Stoicism teaches us that the mind is where self-mastery starts. According to Marcus Aurelius, the quality of your thoughts determines how happy you are in life. Therefore, consider what you are feeding your mind to replace self-defeating negative beliefs. Ideas that are empowering, learn something new, push yourself, and advance intellectually. When you invest in your head, you become more captivating, self-assured, and captivating. Let's now discuss your social circle. Keep company with people who motivate and uplift you. Social proof is powerful. When she sees you surrounded by wonderful people leading amazing lives, it sends a clear message that you're thriving without her. This isn't the time to isolate yourself or hold on to toxic relationships. Instead, create a network of friends and allies who will encourage you to become even better. Finally, concentrate on your goals. What have you been delaying? Which dreams have you overlooked? This is your opportunity to rekindle that passion, whether it's through career building, starting a side business, or pursuing a passion project. Reaching your goals not only increases your sense of self-worth, but also sends a strong message to the world and to her that you're unstoppable. Nothing is more attractive than a determined dreamer. I love the glow-up effect because it's not just about making her regret who you are when you develop yourself. Your prosperity and happiness. You make your life so full and vibrant that anyone who underestimated you will feel the pain of regret, and the best part is that your transformation will speak for itself without you having to say a word. However, keep in mind that this isn't about flaunting yourself or looking for approval. The IICs teach us that genuine confidence comes from within, so you're not doing this to prove anything to her. Rather, you're doing this to become the best version of yourself, become the best version of yourself, and everything else will fall into place. If this speaks to you and you're prepared to begin your glow-up adventure, please leave a comment below. I can't be stopped. Remind yourself that you are on the path to greatness and declare it with confidence. The game really changes when you learn the art of silence, so let's move on. The fourth, learning the art of silence is one of the most effective yet underappreciated strategies you can employ in this situation, as well as others throughout your life. When you can make her regret her decision to leave, things begin to change. This goes beyond simply remaining silent. It's about using silence as a tactical tool that changes the dynamic and restores control. Let me explain. She expects noise right now, and she expects you to respond by arguing, defending yourself, and trying to win her back. The majority fill the void with words to convince the other of their worth. The problem is that the more you talk, the less she listens, and the more predictable you appear, the less valuable you seem. Conversely, silence is unpredictable. It's powerful, mysterious, and, when applied properly, it makes people uncomfortable in the best manner possible. Consider it this way. Silence gives her room to think, to feel the absence of you, to wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, and why you're not contacting her. This is where the situation becomes intriguing, as silence is often disliked. When there's no sound, the mind fills the void by questioning, imagining, and asking those unanswered questions. From a Stoic perspective, these questions hold far more power than any words you may utter. Mastering silence means mastering oneself and letting go of the impulse to respond in order to defend or justify. Marcus Aurelius once stated, "If you don't owe anyone, you don't need to turn this into something that upsets you." Our way of saying, I don't need to explain my worth to you, my value speaks for itself. That confidence is captivating, but let's delve deeper into dark psychology. By ceasing to react, you alter the power dynamic. You're no longer adhering to her rules, and you're fostering an unsettling sense of uncertainty. She begins to wonder why he isn't reaching out, and if he is happier without me. Let me be clear, the uncertainty wears her down, and the more you remain mute, the more those thoughts fester. Being able to communicate intentionally means speaking on your terms, not hers. Mastering silence does not imply ignoring her forever. Quiet time is about reclaiming your emotional space and developing yourself. If you decide to re-engage at any point, you will do it from a position of strength rather than weakness. But here's the catch. Quiet isn't about being petty or passive-agree. Remember, silence isn't just about her. It's also about giving yourself the space to heal, grow, and rise above the situation. For when you master solitude, you master yourself, a self. If you're ready to embrace this step, leave a comment below with the words, "My silence is my power." Write it down and say it aloud, because once you understand the power of silence, keep in mind that every time you break your silence, you're giving her back the power. You'll never view communication the same way again, so let's continue, since the true magic occurs when you completely change your perspective in the following step. The philosophy of indifference is the name of the fifth philosophy. After mastering stillness, it's time to adopt the philosophy of indifference, one of the most profound tenets of Stoicism. This is the moment when you stop reacting to external events and start taking full control of your internal state. Remember, her opinions, actions, and decisions do not define you. Fully internalizing that makes you an untouchable force of nature no one can control or manipulate. At this moment, she likely expects you to care about and agonize over her decisions, and to be honest, you may still feel the need for answers, closure, and some form of validation. As Epicus once said, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Indifference isn't about not caring. Rather, it's about choosing what's worth your energy. I can assure you that her opinions and choices are not worth it. But let's look more closely at why indifference is so powerful. It disrupts expectations. People expect reactions. They expect you to care, to defend, and to explain when you don't. Instead, it creates a psychological shift. Your indifference conveys an unavoidable truth. You've moved on. This unsettling truth makes her face her own choices and wonder if she misjudged you from a dark psychology standpoint. Suddenly, you're no longer predictable, someone she can read or control. One manifestation of psychological dominance is indifference. Without uttering a single word, it conveys the irresistible message, I am whole with or without you. I don't need you to validate me or complete me. When she understands that her actions no longer affect you, it will hit her more forcefully than words could ever express. It's the energy of someone who knows their worth, doesn't chase, and definitely doesn't focus on what's already behind them. Being indifferent does not imply suppressing your feelings. It's about turning your attention inward toward the things over which you have control, not about becoming cold or aloof. Your contentment and your objectives. The Stoics advocated living in accordance with nature, which entails coordinating your actions with your goals rather than those of others. When you live this way, you cease being reactive and begin to be intentional, making choices that benefit your higher self rather than your ego. When you embrace indifference, you shed your fear of rejection or replacement, realizing your own worth beyond the opinions of others. You know that you are sufficient just the way you are, and that kind of confidence is uncommon, powerful, unforgettable, and, best of all, completely within your control. However, I know that this isn't easy. It requires daily reminders to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Here's a helpful tip. Every time you find yourself worrying excessively about her opinions or actions, ask yourself if this is helping you grow. If the answer is no, let it go and focus that energy on yourself because, in the end, your life is about you and not her. If this speaks to you and you're prepared to live by the principle of indifference, please leave a comment below. I'm in charge. In the next phase, we'll explore how to utilize social proof to magnify your transformation and make her regret everything. So let's keep going. Written, declared, and reminded daily that your power is within you, not others. Sixth place, the social evidence, the phenomenon known as social proof. Now that you've adopted the philosophy of indifference, it's time to incorporate a psychological and perceptual component into your metamorphosis. This is the point at which you undergo a transformation, a phenomenon known as the social proof phenomenon. Your behavior and how others perceive you also contribute to the narrative. When done correctly, this stage causes her to doubt her entire viewpoint of you and not only regret her decisions. To put it simply, what is social proof? The idea that people form their opinions based on what others think and do attracts us to respected, admired, and sought-after people. The same idea applies here. If she witnesses you flourishing in a life full of connections and purpose, surrounded by people who value you, it sends a strong message. Trust me, the knowledge hits hard. Here's how to utilize social evidence to your advantage. First, expand your social circle. I'm not just fine without you. I'm thriving in ways you never thought possible. Spend time with individuals who push you, encourage you, and help you become your best self, whether that means re-establishing old friendships or forming new ones. When she sees you succeeding in these circles, it's a clear indication that you're in high demand and you're not looking back. Next, Document your journey. No, I'm not referring to oversharing or posting every detail of your life on social media. Surround yourself with people who add value to your life. This isn't just about appearances, it's about creating a network that supports your growth. I mean being deliberate about the content you share, such as a picture of yourself working out at the gym, discovering a new pastime, or reaching a significant milestone. These brief moments of your development and change weave a story that goes, "I'm living my best life, and I'm doing it without you." The worst part is that you're not doing this to prove anything to her. Rather, you're doing it to celebrate yourself. The possibility that it will attract her attention is merely a byproduct, but let's go deeper. Social proof is about energy when you surround yourself with success, progress, and positivity. It's not just about perception. You are someone people want to be around because you are naturally confident and command attention. Your energy is magnetic, and when she sees you glowing and hears about your accomplishments from friends, it makes her rethink everything. She begins to question whether she made a mistake or if he was always this amazing and she simply missed it. That doesn't mean you're acting like someone you're not. The Stoics were clear that being genuine is crucial. Those ideas sow the seeds of regret, and once they're there, they develop. In other words, don't just act like you're thriving. Instead, thrive and create a life that reflects your values, passions, and purpose. Because at the end of the day, Marcus Aurelius stated, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Here's a crucial reminder. Social proof isn't about her. It's about becoming someone you're proud of, and everything else falls into place after that. The best part is that you're doing it for yourself. The possibility that it will make her regret her decisions is just a bonus. If this speaks to you, if you're prepared to embrace the power of social proof and embrace a new version of yourself, please leave a comment below. This isn't about retaliation or manipulation. It's about showing yourself and others your potential. I do best when I'm in control. Put it in writing, declare it, and make it your motto. Let's continue moving forward, as the upcoming phase will require a genuine mental shift, change of attitude, emphasis on being unstoppable. The seventh point represents an unstoppable shift in perspective. Concentrate on being unstoppable. You've mastered silence, you've embraced indifference, you've harnessed social proof. But now it's time to take the final step in your transformation, shifting your mindset to focus on one thing: being unstoppable. This isn't just about moving on, it's about building a life so extraordinary, so unshakable, that nothing and no one can hold you back. And when you do this, her regret becomes inevitable. Not because you sought it, but because your growth speaks for itself. Here's where most people get it wrong. They stay stuck in the past. They keep replaying old memories, trying to figure out what went wrong or what they could have done differently. But let me tell you something. You cannot change the past. You cannot rewrite what's already happened. What you can do is take full ownership of your future, and that starts with a simple decision to stop looking back and start moving forward with purpose and clarity. So how do you adopt an unstoppable mindset? Letting go of victimhood is the first step. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" Pain is a teacher, and if you're willing to listen, it will reveal exactly where you need to grow. The Stoics understood this profoundly. The Stoics deeply understood this concept. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, if you allow it, the very thing that hurts you can become the catalyst for your greatest transformation. Next, set audacious goals. Set goals that inspire you to wake up in the morning, be it launching a business, acquiring a new skill, or accomplishing a personal achievement. Focusing on a mission greater than yourself begins to fade the pain of the past. You realize that life is so much bigger than one person, one relationship, or one setback, and you realize that you are empowered to create a future that is brighter than anything you've ever imagined. However, being unstoppable isn't just about big goals. It's about mastering the small daily habits that lead to greatness. Put your energy into something that inspires you. Maintain a daily gym routine, even if you're not feeling it. Even if you'd rather scroll through your phone, read the book. The truth is that you create success not in a single moment, but through the tiny, consistent steps you take every day. When you commit to that process, you become unstoppable in her eyes and yours. Let's talk about confidence. Take the step even when fear tells you to stay still. This type of confidence radiates. It's the kind of energy that attracts attention and makes others, including her, take notice. However, the most crucial thing is that being unstoppable doesn't mean you're invincible. True confidence comes from keeping your word to yourself every time you fulfill a commitment, whether it's getting up early, finishing a project, or refusing distractions. Since the Stoics taught that resilience isn't about never falling, but about rising every time you do, take a moment to ask yourself, what does the unstoppable version of me look like? What does he do? How does he carry himself? Who does he surround himself with? You're still human and will still experience setbacks, doubts, and moments of weakness. The difference is that you won't let those moments define you. Instead, you'll use them as motivation to keep moving forward. Instead of starting tomorrow or next week, you should start immediately. Please leave a remark below if you're prepared to embrace this way of thinking and become genuinely unstoppable. I can't be stopped. Let's go on to the following section, where we'll discuss the inevitable regret that arises once you've fully embraced your power. Number 8. Write it, own it, because this is your time to ascend. After changing your identity, emotions, and perspective to one of unstoppability, you must prepare for her remorse and avoid making mistakes. Because your change speaks louder than words, it will happen without having to push or beg. When she sees the new you, the version of you that no longer needs her approval and that flourishes without her, it will hit her in unexpected ways. So what does this regret look like? It may begin as a flicker, a small doubt in the back of her mind, or it may be a picture of you looking better than ever, or it may be a mutual friend telling her that you're achieving your goals, surrounding yourself with amazing people, and living your best life. Human nature often leads us to undervalue our possessions until they disappear, and when you combine this with personal growth, your confidence soars. What if I was mistaken? What if I abandoned someone who was on the brink of greatness? With the unstoppable mindset, you establish an unavoidable contrast, and you've become someone she can't forget or replace. That's where the regret really begins to set in. But let's be clear, this isn't about validation or retaliation. The Stoics teach us that real power comes from letting go of things over which we have no control. That's just a byproduct of your amazing self. You don't need to pursue or acknowledge it. By the time she senses it, you'll be so far along in your journey that it won't even matter. Now, let's discuss how to handle this moment with grace, as she may attempt to reach out to you in the future. Perhaps it will be a casual text message asking how you're doing. Your Stoic training will come into play if she begins to like your posts or find reasons to contact you. Your power is in your response, or lack thereof, and you don't have to interact unless it serves your goals. If you do respond, do so with strength rather than emotion. Let's face it, her regret isn't the purpose of this journey. It's just a reflection of how far you've come, how you've regained your power and confidence. Show her that the person she left behind is no longer there, and that you've changed into someone who doesn't need her or anyone else to define your worth. You've made your life so rich and colorful that her opinions don't matter anymore, which is the ultimate victory since you become truly free when you stop looking to other people for approval. This is what makes you unstoppable. Now think about how far you've come. Consider how you used to feel forgotten, replaced, and discarded. And now that you've turned that pain into fuel, you've risen above the noise and become someone who commands respect, not just with words, but with action. If you're ready to keep rising, if you're ready to embrace your unstoppable future and leave the past behind, then leave a comment below. I am untouchable. Since you've earned it, write it down and declare it. Now, let's proceed to the final stage, where we will consolidate all our efforts and devise a daily plan to put this attitude into practice. Developing into a man of substance. You've reached the last stage of becoming a man of substance, and by now you're not the same person who began this journey. You've embraced silence, mastered indifference, changed your appearance with the glow-up effect, and adopted an unstoppable mindset. Your life has become so full and vibrant that regret is inevitable, yet this is just the beginning. The true question at hand is how to maintain this momentum and live by this mindset every day. First, keep in mind that this is a lifetime change rather than a one-time change. Stoicism tells us that development is an ongoing process rather than a final goal. According to Marcus Aurelius, you control your thoughts rather than external circumstances. With this understanding, you'll discover that strength is cultivated daily. You can find strength in the small decisions you make, like prioritizing yourself, focusing on your goals, suppressing doubt, and persevering through all challenges. Secondly, stay true to your purpose and ask yourself why you are doing this. Not for her or anyone else, but for yourself. Because ultimately, this journey isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, the kind of person who not only survives but thrives, who transforms hardships into opportunities for personal development, and third, surrounds themselves with the right people. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose people who challenge you, inspire you, and help you reach your full potential. Wisely seek out those who embody the qualities you admire and let their energy fuel your journey, because when you're surrounded by greatness, it pushes you to rise even higher. And finally, never forget the power of gratitude. Yes, even for this experience, the Stoics believed that every challenge, every setback, every moment of pain is an opportunity to grow. So instead of dwelling on what you lost, focus on what you gained. You gained resilience, you gained clarity, and most importantly, you gained a deeper understanding of your own strength, that gratitude. It's what keeps you humble, grounded, and ready to take on whatever comes next. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by how you rise after it, and right now, you're rising in ways you never thought possible. So keep going, keep building, keep thriving, because the life you're creating, it's one that no one, absolutely no one, will ever be able to take away from you. If this journey resonated with you, if you're ready to embrace this philosophy and live it every single day, I want you to take action right now. First, hit that like button. It's a small step, but it's a declaration of your commitment to yourself. Please leave your second comment below. The words "write it, own it," and "don't forget to subscribe to this channel" remind you of your accomplishments and potential. I can't wait to see where your journey takes you, but remember that you're not just unstoppable, you're untouchable, and the best is yet to come. Until then, stay strong, stay focused, and keep rising. Turn on notifications and join the Stoic Blessing community. This is your space, a space for growth, resilience, and transformation. Together, we're creating a movement of people who refuse to stay down, who rise above, and who create lives that are truly extraordinary.